Okay guys, today I'm gonna talk about the anterolateral surface of the medulla oblongata. And the medulla oblongata, I already mentioned this, but it's always good to remind you that the medulla oblongata is one of the most important parts of the brainstem because it will work as a bridge, okay, between the spinal cord and the rest of the brain. Now, its anterolateral surface is particularly interesting because it features important anatomical structures that play crucial roles in motor control and sensory processing, and also reflexes. Now, let's explore each one here, starting with the pyramid. And we have the pyramid here, okay? This is the pyramid. And this is the most prominent and medial elevation of the on the anterolateral surface of the medulla, and it gets its name because it's triangular shape, which, as you can see here, tapers as it descends towards the spinal cord. And this structure is made up of corticospinal fibers, which are responsible for voluntary motor control. And these fibers will originate in the cerebral cortex and will travel through the brainstem before reaching the spinal cord. And guys, the pyramid is separated from its counterpart, okay, on the opposite side by what we call a deep groove called the anterior median fissure. Now we have here the olive, okay, here, and as you can see, it lies lateral to the pyramid and is rounded. It presents this rounded elevation that resembles pretty much olive fruit. And the olive is formed by the inferior olivary nucleus, which is a cluster of neurons involved in motor coordination and balance, and it sits just behind the pyramid and is separated from it by a shallow groove here, called the anterolateral sulcus. Now, what else? We have here the inferior cerebellar peduncle. And behind the olive, as you can see now. And it's also known as a restiform body, and this structure will connect the cerebellum to the brainstem and will carry sensory information from the spinal cord to the cerebellum. And the inferior cerebellar peduncle is separated from the olive by another shallow groove called the posterolateral sulcus. Okay? So what else? We have the anterior external arcuate fibers, and these fibers will run across the surface of the olive, and they are anterior. So I was just thinking here. So yeah, basically these fibers run across the surface of the olive, and these fibers will form a curved pathway that cross over the olive, connecting different regions of the brainstem. And they will be important, guys, because they will help with the motor coordination, and it will also be essential for the integration of sensory and motor signals. Then we have the anterolateral sulcus here, the anterolateral sulcus, okay? And the anterolateral sulcus is the shallow groove that separates the pyramid from the olive, and it helps to define the boundaries of these two important structures, serving as a landmark for neuroanatomists, anatomists, and surgeons. Now, the posterolateral sulcus, okay, the posterolateral sulcus separates the olive from the inferior cerebellar peduncle, and this sulcus provides a very clear division between these two structures, and it is another important area for surgeons, neuroanatomies. It's an important landmark. And then we have finally we have the anterior median fissure, okay, and this runs down the midline of the medulla, separating the two pyramids. And this deep groove here is a continuation of the central canal of the spinal cord, and you probably know very well that is a key feature of the brainstem's ventral surface. So, guys, these are pretty much the anatomy of the anterolateral surface of the medulla oblongata. So, if you enjoyed this content, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and I will see you next time. Okay? Cheers.